I have been taking a lot of consulting calls lately, and one of the biggest sticking points for majority of coaches that are either in a place where they are just about to launch their coaching business and they haven't really gotten some results or some clients yet, or they have a coaching business that is just starting to get off the ground and they're not getting the best results yet from their coaching business. It comes down to the offer. So I'm going to kind of walk you through how I think through creating offers that just absolutely crush, and exactly how you can use this system inside of your own coaching business too as well, so that you can create offers that can earn you $100,000-$200,000 plus per month. Because to be fair, the offers that are able to do those kind of insane numbers, they all have a few things in common. And if you just adapt those same systems into your own offer structure too as well, you're going to have offers that just absolutely crush and work really, really well for you inside of your coaching business. So one of the most important things that we found when we kind of look at offers that coaches are trying to use to grow their businesses and stuff is, the first thing is the offer is just way too vague and it is not concrete in any way. So for example, there's a consulting client we have right now, and we had the clients fill out a form just trying to explain to us in their own words the offer that they have. And then she was talking about how she helps women find their own identity. She helps women start setting boundaries. She helps women stand up for themselves, and so on and so forth. So all of that is good, but like, what do they actually mean? Because it doesn't mean anything if you just say, oh, you help women set boundaries, you help women stand up for themselves a lot more, and so on and so forth. And I remember we tried this exact same thing about 2 years ago for a coach who had about a YouTube subscriber base of about 30,000 people, and the offer completely bashed. Like, we didn't make any money from that offer because we were trying to help women set better boundaries. So it's not just specific enough and it's not concrete enough. So when you're creating offers, you want to think through it from a place of pain, which is their current state, and then their desired state. So in this client's example, the current state was not even clear enough to start with, because your current state in this example is just women. Like, women is not a current state, right? And then the desired state in this example is set boundaries, have an identity, and so on and so forth. And those things too as well are not concrete enough. So the first things that we found that would kill any type of offer is just it not being concrete enough. And what we found, or what I recommended for these consulting clients to do to make our offer a lot more concrete, was first off trying to find a very painful current state. So if you're someone who, what you help people do right now is in alignment with what I'm saying, or you help them with their identity and so on and so forth, you want to list out all the people who you think are in the most pain, who are currently dealing with those type of issues. And then you can start to work your way toward a much more painful current state for the prospect. So for example, who are the people who have issues with setting boundaries, right? It might be women who just left a divorce. It might be women who just left a breakup, and so on and so forth. So this might be people who are struggling to keep their boundaries securely, and no one is just waking up in the middle of the night and then thinking to themselves that, oh, I need to set more boundaries this morning, or I need to set more boundaries tomorrow. That's not how people operate. The way people really operate is something triggers them, an event in their life happens that triggers them, and that now leads to them coming to the realization that they need to set more boundaries, they need to love themselves, they need to put themselves first, and so on and so forth. So if you start from the trigger event, you're going to meet the prospects where they are at, and then you can now link it to the main thing, which is how you help them find themselves, or how you help them change their identity, and so on and so forth. But if there's no trigger event, then it just means you're wasting your time pretty much, and they won't be able to resonate with what you're saying, because just like I said, there's no one who is just waking up in the night and thinking to themselves that, you know what, I think I'm actually going to start setting more boundaries now. That's not how it works. There's something in their life that happens, like a problem or a circumstance, something happens to them that triggers them to want to start to do these other things. So you have to meet the customers where they're at, and that's how you can clearly define the current states that you want them to be in. Another very good way to do this, which is one of the things that actually helped this client too as well, if you're kind of very unclear about your offer and you're not really sure where to place this, if you literally just write out your own origin story, and then, or you write out the origin story of clients that you've helped and the commonalities between the clients that you've helped, you'll be able to get a more clearer idea on who exactly it is you're trying to help. Because if you're running ads, right, you want to be so specific that you are targeting and tailoring your message to a very specific type of person. And how you are specific with ads is in the problems or circumstances that the customers themselves are facing. And if you don't know exactly what to say to them in that current state, you're not going to appeal to anybody with your ads, and your ads are not just going to convert. So you need to get very, very clear on who exactly it is you're trying to help. And the way you do that, if you have an offer that is very vague, is you can think of the trigger event that helps them unlock that kind of feeling, or you can just think through the customers that you've helped. Because in this client's case, when we started to dig deep into all of this, then it turned out she had helped 2 women who just left a breakup and kept going back to the same partner over and over again. She had helped them stop doing that and basically reinvent themselves. So that was how we're able to narrow down into a particular market for these clients, just because she was able to tell 2 examples of clients that she has actually helped. Even if you've helped somebody for free, it doesn't really matter. As long as you've helped them, then you're now in a place where you can start to narrow down your messaging more towards people who have a very tangible, specific problem that you can go and solve. But if you just go to the marketplace and you say, oh, I'm going to help women who are in their 40s to 50s and start to love themselves more. Like, love yourself more doesn't really mean anything, because again, no one is just randomly in bed every morning thinking, oh, I need to love myself more. Something happens that is triggering the event. And it's that event you want to meet them at, because you want to meet the market where they are at and not where you think they should be, right? Another thing that can help you just really get very, very concrete with your offer is also going to be thinking about the 3 main desires in the marketplace. So there's going to be 3 main desires in any marketplace that you see, literally. And you cannot create desire. You can only channel it into your own product or into your own service, right? And the 3 main desires really is health, wealth, and relationships. So regardless of what you help people do or the outcomes or goals you help people achieve, you need to try and tailor your offer towards one of these 3 main markets, which is health, wealth, and relationships, regardless of what you do. It doesn't matter if you help people learn how to play the piano, for example. You need to almost kind of lean it more towards health, wealth, or relationships in the way you tailor your messaging. And then in some cases, you might have like different offers where it kind of appeals to all 3 things, right? But in the marketing message that you're putting out there, it has to only choose like one of these 3 main desires. So for this client example where she was talking about, she helps people love themselves more, she helps people with their identity and so on and so forth. Relationships were kind of the obvious thing to lean more toward. And after digging deeper into relationships, we're able to get clarity on the fact that, then this is going to be an ideal market for you, where you just help people who just went through a breakup and they find themselves going back to the same partner over and over again. Just break out of that and reinvent themselves. So you can see how specific that actually is compared to just, I help people change their identity. Like, that doesn't really mean anything. So you want to, again, like I said, be as specific as possible to exactly who you're trying to help. And whenever you can, try to break it into health, wealth, relationships. Because if you don't do this foundational thing, it doesn't matter how many deliverables you have. It doesn't matter how much money you spend on ads or how really good you are at actually doing the thing. It doesn't really matter. Your marketing message is always going to fall flat, just because you're not meeting the customers exactly where they're at, and just going to make you really, really struggle when it comes to your marketing message. Another way to kind of test this to see if you're in the right direction when it comes to your offer is you can literally go on Facebook Ads Library, type it in, and then try to find people who are already selling exactly what you're trying to sell. So if your offer is not concrete enough, you won't even know what to search on Facebook Ads Library. That's how you start to know whether or not your offer is concrete enough, because you won't even know what to search on Facebook Ads Library. And this is especially true if you want to charge high tickets. If you want to sell a product that is $50 where there's no incentive for, like, it's an impulse purchase. They don't really care if they lose $50. Then you can do stuff like, oh, I'm going to help you love yourself for $50. Like, no one cares. But if you want to charge $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, it needs to be a very painful problem you're solving. And regardless of what you help your clients do, as long as your problem that you're solving for them is painful and you can meet them at that trigger events that cause them to start to feel that pain or that cause them to want to desire that solution, you're going to be in a very, very good place. And this is very easy if your offer is very obvious. Like, let's say you help people start a gym business. It's very, very obvious, right? Because it's just wealth and it's very concrete. I'm going to help you start a gym business. I'm going to take you from a place where you don't have a gym business to having a gym business. It's very obvious. But in the less obvious markets, that's where you need to get a bit more creative. So if you're in the Facebook ads library, for example, and you don't even know what to search for, that's a red flag, because it means your offer is just not concrete enough. Like, so how do you go about searching for other competitors who are running ads when you help people set better boundaries, for example? Like, it's very hard for you to just try and find coaches who do that on Facebook ads that are running ads to it, because there's no keywords that you can search. But in the other example I gave, where you're helping people who just went through a breakup, you can just search relationship, you can search breakup on Facebook ads library, and you might find competitors who do something very similar to what you're doing very easily. And when you see someone running ads on Facebook, that is usually a sign that the market is actually good. If you find somebody else who is spending money on Facebook and they've been spending the money for a long time, that is usually a sign that the market is very, very good, and you can double down or double click into this market to try to really maximize this and make as much money as possible from this. So if you're in a place now where the offer you have is already concrete enough, how you can now take that offer to the next level and truly make sure that you are truly maximizing the offer as much as possible and you're able to charge as much money as possible for that offer, is by doing something that I believe it was Alex Hormozi that popularized this, but it's simply what we call a problem solution bridge. So again, if you are not concrete enough with your offer, you're going to really struggle to do this. And even if you are able to do this, it's not going to be specific enough. So let's say, for example, you say you help women set better boundaries, right? And you're trying to list out the different obstacles that are going to stop them from setting better boundaries. It's kind of very hard to put that into place or to think through why they are not currently doing that action right now, right? Because how you create an offer that works really well is through the problem solution bridge, where pretty much you take all the problems the customers are facing right now, literally all the obstacles that are preventing them from achieving the dream outcome that you have for them or the desired state you have for them, and then you create solutions for every single one of them so that your program is just the end all be all solution they need to get to their goal. And this is especially true if you want to charge $5, $10, $15, $3,000 plus or more for your program. If you want to just charge $20 for your program, then you can solve only one small problem that the market might be facing. But if you want to charge a lot of money, you need to make sure that literally every single problem the market can face or the market can deal with, you are able to solve in your program. And how you do that is by listing out all the problems they are facing and then creating solutions for that. So if you do that pretty much and you're able to solve all the problem the market is facing, you'll be able to charge high ticket, and then you pair that with having an offer that is also very concrete. You'll also be able to sell very high ticket with that. And then, like I was saying, if the offer is just not concrete enough, you're going to really struggle with that exercise. You're going to the answers you would give as the problems they are facing right now or the things that are preventing them from reaching their goals are going to be very vague. So let's say you help people set boundaries, like I said. So I can't even think of obstacles that might stop someone from setting boundaries. Maybe the fear of conflict. Like, fear of conflict again is very vague. But if you narrow down to, say, post-divorce women who are trying to start their lives again from scratch, pretty much, it starts to become more clear the exact obstacles they might be facing that are stopping them from achieving the goal or desired state that they want. And then you can now start to work solutions that are very specific to this marketplace. So the problem solution bridge is extremely good. We find that really helps to really narrow down on exactly how to structure a very compelling offer that just separates you from every other person out there and allows you to charge very high ticket for your service. And then another thing you can also do if you want to charge really high ticket for your service as well is going to be having the offer be in different modalities. So what that means is if you have just course or video training, you won't be able to charge as much as someone who has video training and one-to-one group coaching. If you have just one-to-one group coaching and video training, you can't charge as much as someone who has one-to-one training, video courses, templates, and checklists. You can't just charge as much as them. So the more ways you can help different kinds of people achieve their goals, the more you can actually charge. So it's still the same thing that you're offering, but it's just in different forms and in different modalities. The more you can add that, the more money you can charge. So let's say you can add in-person events. Anyone who can add in-person events is going to be able to charge a lot more money than just the random person who doesn't have in-person events in their program. If you have an access to a community of your private members that are inside your community, you can charge again a lot more money than someone who just has a video course. So we had a client literally back in the day. She runs a program where she helps people start EKGs, and she was charging only like $190, like $97. And all we did was bundle all our courses together, and we added the community aspect, and we added some calls to it too as well. And we're able to charge $1,000 for that program at the time, just because we added more modalities to the offer. So if you're someone who is charging like $97 or $100 right now, and you want to charge like big numbers, first try and make your offer more concrete, like we spent the last however minutes talking about. Make sure you're solving every single problem the market is facing, and on top of that, try to add as many different modalities as possible, because what you do here is you increase the chances that someone would succeed. And the more likely they feel they can succeed with your program, the more likely they are to actually purchase and buy from you. Because at the end of the day, what people really want is that, I won't say guarantee, but that guaranteed that they actually want to succeed. And if you can show them how they can do that with your program, then they are more likely to pay you more numbers, because they would rather spend, or at least the right type of customers, they would rather spend $5,000 knowing fully well that once they pay these $5,000, they're more likely to get results than ever before, rather than pay $1,000 and then not get results and have to pay 6 other people $1,000 each, where they still end up spending more money and they are not any closer to their goals than they were before. Just like it just makes more sense to pay you the big bucks if you can truly show them that if they pay to buy your program, then they are more likely to succeed. And then the next thing on offers really is going to be the guarantee, right? The guarantee is going to be very, very important. So a lot of people don't like guarantees because they feel like they might lose money when they add a guarantee to the offer. But typically, if you use conditional guarantees, where you list out the conditions that the customers need to take for them to qualify for the guarantee, you make sure these conditions are things that you know they would need to get results with your program. Your refund rates, or like the people you would have to refund, will be very, very low, because you will notice, especially when you have a coaching program, not saying you have to blame the customers when they are not doing the work. It's your responsibility to make sure they do the work, because your reputation is on the line. But you find a lot of people don't take action. But if you have your program structured in that way, where for you to even qualify for this refund, you need to take XYZ action first. Then not only would you get more conversions upfront from people before they join the program, because the guarantee can increase your conversion rate, just because, like I said, people are buying that belief that this is the thing that is going to work for me, and they're willing to pay more if they know for a fact that this is going to work for me. So guarantees is one of the ways that you can help your prospects actually do that. And if you have a guarantee in your offer, for example, then you're going to literally be in a place where you're converting a lot more people. And then if you have a conditional guarantee, where the terms of the guarantee is exactly what you know the prospects need to succeed, then not only would you get better compliance and you will get your clients getting better results, but your refunds are also going to be pretty damn low. So you won't even have to worry about that one at all. Another thing too as well is going to be your unique mechanism, especially if you're in a marketplace where there's a lot of competition. So your unique mechanism is pretty simple, to be honest. You just need to try and frame how you get your clients' results to be different from every other thing they've tried before to get results. And it's pretty easy to do. Literally all you have to do is just look at how your competition right now is helping your clients solve the problems they are facing, and then say that's not what you do, you actually do this instead. So unique mechanism, and this is a frame that I got from Cole Gordon, is literally how you want to frame it as the reason why you haven't succeeded before in the past is because of all these other things you're doing. So if you actually want to succeed, then use this different system instead. And that's how you create your unique mechanism. If you just list out everything you're doing right now that is not working out for them, and then you reframe that into how your own system is different from what they are doing, your offer is also going to be a lot more appealing than any other offer out there. So I hope this was useful for you. If you're someone right now who is currently struggling with your offer and you're not quite sure how to position it, you're not quite sure how to make sure it is actually good enough for you to sell $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 per package for it, there's going to be a link in the description. You can book a call to speak with me one-to-one, and I'll just do a consult for you and walk you through exactly what you need to do to have an offer that you can charge really high to get for. So I hope this was useful for you, and yeah, I'll speak to you in the next video. Bye.